What we saw yesterday was truly eye-opening. We all knew that Joe Biden was going crazy, but we didn't think it was this bad. Even the conservatives that have been saying this for a while was taken back from this, because I'm one of those people. Joe Biden had a really bad performance last night. We're going to be playing some clips. From now until election, Trump needs to run this ad.
Healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
He already ran ads like this already, and he needs to keep doing it because the American people need to see that the race is not just between Joe Biden and Trump. The race is between a dullard that doesn't know how to finish a sentence in former President Trump. Obviously, one person is showing his age, one person is going senile, one person acts like he has dementia, and the other person was President of the United States. This is very bad for Joe Biden. According to The Independent, right, who won the debate? Snap poll results following first Trump-Biden presidential debate square off. So, Joe Biden's stumbling performance in the first United States presidential debate of 2024 left a large majority of American viewers believing that Donald Trump came out on top, according to Snap poll by CNN. Now, this is 100% true because of the fact that you can just look at the debate and you can see, okay, obviously Trump took the lead on this. Trump dominated. All that Trump needed to do is stay reserved, and he did because of the fact that they muted the microphones. According to the News Network survey on Thursday night, immediately after the broadcast had conducted, 67% of viewers felt like the Republican presidential contender, 78, put in a better performance than the president, 81, who scored just 33%. 33% of the majority of people watching CNN are Democrat. 33% of Democrats think that Joe Biden did a good job. That's crazy because he did not do a good job. He stumbled, he mumbled, he just showed the world how senile he actually is. Before the head-to-head Atlanta, Georgia, the voters said that they were expecting Trump to turn a better performance than Biden, backing the GOP candidate 55-45. But little did I know, I was excited for this debate too. Biden, whose campaign subsequently said that he had been suffering from a cold, struggling in the debate, stumbling over his answers, rambling at times, or losing his thread entirely while speaking in a hoarse and raspy voice. But the thing is, for the last week, Joe Biden took off from the White House. He didn't even go to the White House at all this week. That's because of the fact that he was in Wellington, Delaware, preparing on a mock debate stage that they had planned for him. The president misspoke at one stage and declared, quote, "We finally beat Medicare," to which Trump responded, I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't even think that he knows what he said either. Biden did later rally to rebuke Trump over his sordid personal history, saying that he had the morals of an ally cat, and over his alleged suckers and losers regarding Americans' military dead. That's not... He didn't say that. It's been fact-checked to be false. But he otherwise missed opportunities to hold his predecessor to account, according to The Independent. The businessman, meanwhile, repeated quote-unquote lies and falsehoods, according to The Independent, often failing to answer questions. That's not true. We saw the same exact debate. Trump answered every single question that he was asked, but the thing is, what Trump would do, I don't like The Independent. Independent's stupid. But I did like this article, though. What happened was that when Trump was asked a question, it was to actually reframe the debate from Joe Biden to Trump. So then Trump said, no, you know what? You're asking this question, but there's things that actually matter here. We shouldn't even have this debate right now. It's not even a debate. You're failing the country and you're failing the American people. That's what Trump said. And then he turned to Joe Biden, and then he directed Joe Biden, and then he went and answered the question right after that. You can do whatever you want with the 1 minute that you have. What? So you're just supposed to answer any of the questions that they ask, and that's it? It's a debate at the end of the day. It's not that the moderators control the debate. We're not going to see the debate for Jake Tapper and whatever her name is. We're not going to the debate for that. We're going to the debate to hear Joe Biden and Trump speak. That's what we're going to the debate for. So it's just stupid that the Independent would ever think that you would just have to concede with the questions that they ask you. Of course, you're going to frame it in a way that your opponent looks worse. That's just the point of the debate. Now, we have multiple clips here. So I wanted to get some of the clips that I got from the live stream. So we're actually downloading the live stream now. It just took a little while to actually go through and stuff like that. But Trump is actually reposting some of the Babylon Bee headlines, and according to according to the Instagram account Real Donald Trump, Trump indicted for murdering elderly man on CNN. Of course, because Trump won that debate, and I guess this is 25 minutes ago. Okay, so Real Clear Politics 2024 United States President. Trump is up almost by 55%, while Joe Biden is down, I would say 23%. So he took a skydive right after that debate. We're going to keep an eye on all of these statistics, and you can see all of the pictures from this debate. And every single one of these pictures, Joe Biden just looks crazy. Like, Joe Biden looks very crazy. He looks like he's out of his mind. So the fact that every single one of these pictures, Joe Biden looks senile, he looks like he's losing his mind, is just very pathetic. And according to Axios, post-debate bumps are real, but there's no guarantee. So if you were to look back in 2020, 2016, 2012, and 2008, the biggest pre-debate and after debate was the polling. So according to the polling, on debate day, Biden was winning Trump by 49 to 51, and before debate day, Trump was actually winning still losing by 1 point. So it's like the points went up. So obviously, Biden at this point got. See, I'm not really understanding this graph here. But the thing is, the biggest post-debate polling bump in the last 4 presidential cycles helped Mitt Romney, the Republican nominee in 2012, make up an average of 4.6 points in the national polls. But Romney's lead over President Obama didn't last. It doesn't seal the fate for either candidate. However, Obama recovered from his uninspired debate effort in 2012 and built a healthy lead in the national polls, which translated into a victory on Election Day. In 2020, Joe Biden increased his lead over President Trump after their first messy meeting with a net gain of nearly 3 points after coming into the debate with a 6-point average. After Trump's first showdown with Hillary Clinton in 2016, watched by a record 84 million views, Clinton saw a net gain of about 1 point nationally, adding to her lead, but then she ultimately lost the election. The polling dynamic persisted until Election Day, when Clinton had a 3.2% average advantage nationally. But Trump shocked many political observers and some inside his campaign by winning the more electoral votes while losing the popular vote by 2.1 points. When Obama was rising Democratic star in 2008, he saw a slight polling uptick after his first debate with Senator John McCain, Republican from Arizona. Obama held on for that victory until November. Debates don't happen in a vacuum, and other events influence voters' opinions. McCain's suspending of his campaign in late September 2008 because of his global financial crisis arguably affected the race more than the debate. The pandemic loomed large in the Trump-Biden race in 2020. A solid performance in a second debate can help voters forget about a subpar first one. And then President Reagan showed up against former Vice President Walter Mondale in 1984. And the big question for both of the campaigns Thursday night is how they might recover, if warranted, without another debate scheduled until September 10. Both candidates are sitting on huge piles of cash, with the Trump and National Republican Committee starting June with $171 million in their accounts compared to $157 million from the Democrats. has set up a summer ad campaign in which each side will be able to match the negative messaging from the other. Yeah, of course. So whatever Joe Biden tries to put out, we all saw the debate. So is he really going to influence any decisions? I really don't think so. Instead, I think that Trump is actually going to just keep on showing and showcasing Joe Biden's Joe Biden's mental unrest, and the fact that Joe Biden is just going crazy. People are just going to do that, and I guess a lot of people on Twitter are now saying, "Oh, Trump fact check, Trump debate lies." So Trump did not lie during the debate. Joe Biden lied during the debate because the Border Patrol Union responded to President Joe Biden saying that the Border Patrol has never endorsed Joe Biden and never will. So the thing is, it's true. And Joe Biden said that the Border Patrol Union endorsed him. And then Trump laughed in his face and said that never happened. So it's not even anything close to true. The Border Patrol Union said that they don't even want Joe Biden. So the Border Patrol Union fact-checked Joe Biden himself. And not just that, but during the debate, Joe Biden was supposedly tweeting live. Well, how's Joe Biden tweeting live? Because he doesn't use his Twitter accounts. He's not the one actually tweeting. He has all these different people running his accounts for him. So you can see on Twitter all of the people that were sitting for Trump and holding signs for Trump and stuff like that. All of these people were here for Trump, but I don't really see any rallies for Joe Biden. I'm looking now. All I see is Joe Biden's X account. It's nothing. So of course the excitement was not for Joe Biden. The excitement was instead for President Trump. So we do have a Federalist article here. We have America is in shambles because of Democrat policies, not just Joe Biden. I 100% agree with this. CNN spent the hour after Thursday's debate in an emotional tailspin, but the heart of their desperate analysis was speculation about whether the fumbling Biden would step down to let another Democrat jump in to carry the torch of democracy. The jig is up. Here's what the delusioned Democrats and independents and moderates need to know. What all the blue state refugees who now live in Texas and Florida instead of California and New York need to admit. While all of these fed-up middle-class families and forgotten non-white voters in the suburbs need to remember, they aren't just Joe Biden's policies that are dangerous. They're Democrat policies. Abortion, economy, crime, immigration, lawfare, foreign policy, healthcare. It doesn't matter what pet issue has voters down in the dumps. Democrats are in lockstep on the losing side. And anywhere they aren't in lockstep, like on whether Israel is a victim or a terrorist group or an oppressive or colonizer, they toe the radical line. You think a Democrat switcheroo is magically going to secure the border and end the unmitigated illegal alien crime wave? And least you've been captive to the corporate media spin. Here's a few examples of such atrocities. Not a chance. Deferred action of the childhood arrivals, Biden's expanded asylum, repeal of Remain in Mexico, outrage over shipping migrants to Martha's Vineyard, support for ripping down border razor wire, and playing footsie with the Mexican cartels are all fruits of the same poisonous tree. Democrats anti-parthy for the United States border. It's delusional to think the governor of a sanctuary state, California, for instance, a possible 2024 replacement, would be a workable substitute for Biden. Of course not, because they agree with the same stuff. That's exactly what I was saying yesterday. It is Joe Biden that's a failure, but more broadly in the blue states like California, New York, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, it's the actual policies that are ruining the states. It's the policies that are ruining the cities as well. The same goes for Democrats' abortion radicalism. Now, Donald Trump isn't nearly as pro-life as many of the conservatives and Christians would like him to be, but there's obviously no doubt that he's a moderate on the issue in 2024. Now, I completely agree. This is what I said yesterday. Biden, meanwhile, can't articulate his abortion position other than saying Roe over and over. That's because he, like all the Democrat positions of power, support a woman's non-existent, quote, right to kill the unborn child up to any point and until birth for any reason, then the idea of being pregnant makes her feel sad. As other people for the Federalist wrote, voters say that they support protecting unborn babies beginning at 15 weeks. So yeah, start at 15 weeks. That's exactly what Trump should do. On and on it goes. The foreign policy, welfare, and bailout spending that have helped drive up inflation over the past 3+ years. Democrat policies, not just Joe Biden's policies, the soft on crime ideology, push for self-styled progressive district attorneys, the defund the police movement, among other provisions of justice, and again, Democrat pet projects, not a Biden unique quirk. And our two-tiered justice system, led by the deep state, rogue state, prosecutors, and a leftist executive, wouldn't just stop because Biden isn't on the ticket. The same people who raided the homes of pro-lifers while seeking immunity for the Biden family prosecuted one man for classified documents, quote unquote, while letting other worse offenders go free, and made up a novel legal theories and new statutes of limitations to gag, fine, and ultimately imprison their chief political opponent and beholden to a party, not just the sitting president. So, when the Democrat armchair class suddenly gets weepy about Biden's decline, saying Democrats, quote, have a problem after Biden's debate performance, don't buy the spin of the shiny new Democrat that could bail America out. It's not just a Biden that ruined America, it's his party. And I completely agree with this Federalist article. This is written by Kaylee Garsworld. From the Federalist, I completely agree with this. And, I keep saying this over and over again. The enemy that you know is actually better than the enemy you don't know, because of the fact that they might bring out somebody that's more powerful than Joe Biden, and they might win the election because of the excitement. Like if they do Michelle Obama or whatever, Michelle Obama is very popular and could win the election. But Joe Biden, on the other hand, I don't think that he could win the election. But according to the Federalist, these are the 5 questions that should have been asked in the debate if the debate was fair. When you took office, inflation was at 1.4%. Under your leadership, inflation hit 9%. Why do you blame Trump for that? Biden has consistently lied about his record on inflation, telling Yahoo Finance in May that the inflation was at 9% when he entered office. Inflation was actually at 1.4% when you took office and did not reach 9.1% until 2022, according to the labor statistics. Number 2, what would you do differently in the next 4 years to bring down inflation that you could not have done in the past 4 years? These past 4 years, Biden has done nothing but spend. Under Biden, Congress passed a $1.2 trillion infrastructure package in 2021 with a focus on repairing roads and bridges. Notably, the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed earlier this year after a boat struck one of its supporting columns, killing 6 members of a crew that were working on the bridge at the time of the collapse. Meanwhile, Radium Dam in Minnesota is in imminent failure condition after severe flooding. Biden also signed the roughly $750 billion Inflation Reduction Act, which was originally touted to, reduce inflation. Biden later admitted the goal of the legislation was to promote his climate change policies. And of course, trying to actually get rid of student debt after the Supreme Court said no. So that's $320 million. I think it's billion, actually, dollars to the American taxpayer. So that's adding to the debt. Number 3, for years you have said all you can do is secure the border. During the last few weeks, you have taken executive action to implement policies related to illegal immigration. What changed in 4 years, and why did you wait? Biden reportedly claimed that he was unsure whether he has the power to do it himself without legislation to shut down the southern border, even claiming doing so could possibly draw a rebuke from high court. Notably, Biden did not care what the Supreme Court had to say about his ruling on his bailout of student loan borrowers, of course, because that's just an excuse. Biden has since changed his tune, taking executive action to suspend the, quote, entry of non-citizens who cross the southern border into the United States unlawfully. But as other writers for the Federalist say, the order itself belays the fact that it's pure window dressing that won't actually reduce illegal immigration. Number 4, the New York Times and other outlets have criticized you for avoiding interviews and speaking to the press. You have the lowest rate of interaction with the media than both of your predecessors. What's your response? The New York Times called it troubling that Biden has so actively and effectively avoided questions from independent journalists during his term. Last year, the Times and other outlets noted that Biden had held the fewest number of news conferences since former President Ronald Reagan. That's after the Biden administration claimed that his presidency would be marked by truth and transparency. Of course, that was a big lie. Number 5, President Joe Biden. You have constantly said no one is above the law, and that legal decisions such as the Trump conviction must be respected. Where then do you get the authority to ignore the Supreme Court's ruling when it comes to student loans? After former number 3 in the Biden's Department of Justice helped secure a show trial conviction of Trump, overseen by Biden donor in Manhattan court, Biden said the ruling reaffirmed that no one is above the law and that the system of justice should be respected. Yet, Biden floated the Supreme Court after it stopped his plan to force taxpayers to foot the bill for unpaid student loans. Early in my term, I announced a major plan to provide millions of working families with debt relief for their college student debt, Biden said. My MAGA Republican friends in Congress, elected officials, and special interests stepped in and sued me. And the Supreme Court blocked it, but it didn't stop me. So yeah, of course, he's ignoring the Supreme Court, but he cares about the quote-unquote rule of law, because that's just a lie. He actually does not care about the rule of law whatsoever. He only cares about pushing his leftist policies and leftist ideals. That's it. Moving into the last Federalist article, we actually have Biden's border lies catch up with him in the first debate. So, to be clear, President Joe Biden was a lie machine on Thursday's night presidential debate, the first of 2 scheduled before November's election. I don't think that the next one's going to happen, by the way. The colleague Sean Fleetwood reported a 20 bald-faced Biden whoppers. There were many, many more. If he would have kept going, he might have run out of room on the internet. At one point, the lies were coming so fast that Fleetwood was like a medic in Saving Private Ryan trying to tend to wounded soldiers on D-Day as the Nazis relentlessly mowed down the first wave of invading alien allied forces. Just give us a chance, the medic screamed amid a torrent of machine gun and explosions. I can feel Fleetwood as nearly as overwhelmed trying to keep up with Biden's lies. The Democrat occupants in the corporate media like to shrug it off as many untruths as tall tales or exaggerations, but Biden couldn't hide from one of his biggest lies of the night, particularly after he was caught by Border Patrol shortly after the lie was released. Border Patrol said, to be clear, we never have endorsed Biden and we never will. Oops, Joe, you got some explaining to do. As a GOP presumptive presidential candidate and former President Donald Trump also corrected on stage, the union has endorsed him and has railed against what they, in the vast majority of Americans, believe that to be Joe Biden's disastrous border policies. The union did timidly endorse an ill-conceived and ill-named border security bill manufactured by the White House and Republicans who have apparently given up any hope of an actual border. Their proposed argument went up in flames when people who still care about having a border rightly killed it. USA Today hilariously gave Biden's lie a partly false rating in his presidential debate fact check. More than 12 million. The endorsement lie was among a slew of falsehoods. The unpopular incumbent told his failed border policies responsible for a flood of illegal immigrants over the Biden's tenure. Illegal immigration is one of the biggest concerns in the election, voters have consistently said, and they don't trust Biden on the issue. Biden bragged during the debate about that the illegal border crossings have dropped 40% in 3 weeks since the administration, quote, suspended asylum processing, a claim parroted by matching stories from the accomplice media. Interestingly, the New York Post reported that in the days after Biden's crackdown took effect, more than 40,000 illegal immigrants crossed into the United States from Mexico. Border Patrol sources say that most of the migrants are still being given court dates and released into the United States, despite the Biden administration's claim that the new measure would stem the flow of illegal immigrants into border towns and major cities, the Post responded. And least we forget, if Biden's undoing of key Trump border policies, particularly remain in Mexico, that has led to an explosion of illegal immigration into this country. Since Biden took office on January 2021, more than 12 million illegal aliens have crossed into the United States, according to United States Border and Customs Protection Service data obtained by the Center Square. The majority of illegal border crossers are overwhelmingly single adults. In fiscal 2024 through May, they totaled over 1.35 million. The publication responded, many have been granted asylum and turned loose. The consequences have been so deadly. So, of course, we can go on and on about all of the lies that Joe Biden told about immigration, because immigration is one of Joe Biden's biggest failures. It's just upsetting and it's disgusting, quite frankly, that Joe Biden just wants to lie to the American people. I tried fact checking him as soon as he was saying stuff, because it's just not true. Most of the stuff that Joe Biden was saying was not true. It was not based on any reality at all. And it's just sad that the moderators didn't step in, but then they would like to step in for Trump. But if I was to be completely honest, I don't think the moderators were that bad. I think that they just kept asking Trump the question over and over again, acting like he didn't answer the question, but he did answer the question. There's some questions when you're on the debate stage that you want to reflect and you want to answer very quickly, and then that's it. But of course, CNN is going to ask it again and again and again until you actually answer the question. There was one question, I think that, I forget exactly which question, they ended up asking 3 different times because they didn't get the answer that they wanted. So they're wasting time here. He already answered the question. He obviously brought it back to Joe Biden. Joe Biden failed on that front. And then they were going back and forth. So why ask the question again? Just move on with the question and ask something else. That's what I would have done. But with that being said, we're going to finish it up here. If you do want to see my full entire breakdown of the debate night yesterday, I was live streaming from about 7:30, 7:40 till about 11 o'clock at night. So we had a huge day yesterday. Very, very interesting time because of the fact that CNN wanted to first give me CNN Espanol. I don't want CNN in Espanol. I want CNN in English because I speak English. So that's just that. So there was a lot of hiccups in the live stream. I think that it ended up being kind of funny. But they did, my equipment that I had here really tried to test me because of the fact that there was a couple of moments, like when I first started live streaming, I think that the mic wasn't on. So people were telling me in the comments, turn your mic on. How long is he going to take to realize that the mic was off? So I'm like, oh, well, and then just unmute it. So I think it was about 2 minutes of the whole entire live stream that my mic was off. But other than that, obviously everything else went through kind of good. I mean, we tried live streaming earlier in the day, I would say like around 7. But then I tried to print out a picture while we were live streaming. And I wanted to do the debate crossword or something like that. Libs of TikTok actually posted it, and I wanted to print it out so I could use it during the debate. And I was going to actively cross out things that Joe Biden said. And I think it was like a debate bingo. It was kind of funny. I wanted to actually use it for the show. So while we were live streaming, I had someone print out, or tried to print this out. It's called the presidential bingo. And it was actually really funny. I thought it was going to be really good as a joke. So I tried printing it out, but then we ended up losing power down here. So we ended up having all of the equipment shut off. Obviously, the live stream ended up getting shut off too. And I'm like, oh, what happened? And it didn't end up printing anyway. So, of course. So we ended up just starting another live stream. So we do have the full live stream available for all of you guys to see. If you do want to see the breakdown, I'm trying to download it now so I can actually re-upload it as separate videos and separate segments so everybody can just digest it, because that is a long live stream to actually sit down and watch, because of the fact that I was live reacting to the debate, going back and forth. And during the commercial breaks, I was trying to further fact check what Joe Biden was saying too. I had a whole entire list of the things that Joe Biden was saying while I wanted to actually talk a little bit deeper while we're on commercial break. But the commercials really did go by fast because I was talking during them. So with that being said, we're going to sum up this video here. If you did like this episode and you do want to see more analysis by me, subscribe down below, because I do post new episodes of my show every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. And I hope they have a great rest of your day. Bye.